It's Monday, the first trading day of the week. You know what happens when you take a look at the market, especially the equities market. A lot of investors trying to figure out what is really happening, how did the week perform yesterday, just to use the analysis from next week to give them an informed decision as to how to approach the market this week. We're back again. It's Markets Watch brought to you by Nairametrics Television. My name is Frank, and let's go right into the conversation. We're taking a look at what is happening, how the markets played out last week. We're also taking a look at, it looks like the regulators are now starting to play or come into the field of play because CBN is saying something. CBN is saying that they want to start doing something in the fixed income market. You're going to find out about that. Regulators becoming players. How good is that? How good does that sound in the ears of investors? We're also taking a look at the SWOT. Stocks worth over 1 trillion. How did they perform? How much of the market capitalization increase happened in the market? So stocks worth over 1 trillion naira, 78 trillion. Imagine the amount that this particular category of stocks is controlling in the entire market share of the equities market. So you're also going to find out about that because you know I don't come alone. We're taking a look at also company spotlight. You know I don't come alone. I come with two amazing movers and shakers of the market. We have Mukhtar Mohammed. I love your brown suit, by the way. So good. Tan.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be a bullish week. And if it's bearish, then it will be an opportunity week.
Exactly. And then we have Idika. I love your black native. So good to be here again on Market Watch.
Yeah, thank you very much, Frank. Always good to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at what is happening in the market. End of the first week in October was 2 days. We had 2 days trading day in the month of October last week. And how did the market perform in the first 2 days? Knowing fully well, Independence Day celebration, people were... What do you think? How did the market perform last week? Let's start with that. Who is leading in October?
Yeah, the September closed bullish.
Very well.
Now coming to October, that is the traded Thursday and Friday. Yes, it maintained that momentum. The Ocean then closed, I think, 143,504 basis points, taking the market cap to 91.115 trillion. Now, on who is leading, you can see that if you check the data very well, PZ led in terms of share price appreciation. And most importantly, about 6 of them, PZ, Champion Breweries, ICO, Wema Bank, USCN, and Chams, 6 of them at least recorded gains above 10%, between 10% and above. So you see, which is very, very important. So you see that within that 2 days, they were able to make a significant gain. And importantly, is that of Wema Bank. In terms of value, added to close to 309 billion for that 2 days. That was very, very impressive. So that's how they perform. I don't know whether my chief, whether Mukhtar, whether you have a tail. Of course, I believe that you have other things to add.
You know, Indiga is always a Ocean Index man.
Yeah, man of numbers.
So, but for me, I think last week, for me, the best performing stocks, for me, it was PZ. I went on full beat after that result came out, that wonderful results. I mean, so for me, that was the best thing that happens to the market last week. And I expect it was on beat all through that week. I expect that beat to continue maybe today. But I expect a pullback, which might be an opportunity for new entrance into that stock, because again, if you want to do based on what we call comparable analysis now, you could also begin to key into other players like Cabri and others, knowing fully well that sometimes when you see PZ gain, when you see some of these stocks gain, then it's a pointer to what will definitely happen. That week also, indicated menu, we saw Fidelity. It's been a long time. That stock has been in one space. We saw it improve last week also. So that was also a good one for Fidelity. So Wema, I mean, that stock has really thrilled me. for a while, I've looked at that stock. I think there was a time I was having a chat with one of their corporate team, and he told me about how well prepared our oil Wema will be in the near future. And I think it's coming out to be true. And at that time, he was talking to me. I think the stock was selling for like 5 naira, to 5 naira to 6 naira. Look at where it is today. So it's a good stock. We'll not forget that Wema Bank itself is one of the oldest stock in the exchange. It's been, I mean, it's been there like forever. And again, through them, Wema, we shouldn't forget that Wema also acquired one of the oldest stock in the exchange at that time, National Bank. So all of them all came together. And so...
Then even the Alert, the fintech part of the brand.
The Alert is doing very well.
Very, very well.
As a matter of fact, World Bank has been consistent. Last year, the bank was the best performed bank in terms of share price appreciation. Now this year is topping the banking sector with I think about 240%.
45% in terms of price increment.
In terms of price increment, which is solid.
Which is solid. So they have performance to back it up. So it's not just movement.
Very good. Not it's just. I think the fundamental is driving the whole thing. They have done very well. They have been consistent. The best banking stock in 2024 and now leading in 2025. Fantastic. It's okay.
Let us move on to our second story, and this has to do with SWOT. So when people hear the word SWOT, for those who are just hearing it for the first time, is stocks worth over 1 trillion naira. So when you get to the $1 trillion mark in the equities market, you're now considered a big boy. You can raise your shoulder and you can say, hey, I'm part of the big boy. So you're not playing with the big league. It's just like, look at the game of football. Those who play in the highest division of the league, you consider them big boy. Or those who are able to go to the Champions League, you consider them big boys. And that's the same thing with the SWOT category. But here is it. Let me give you a few numbers. If you look at this, about 22% of these stocks under the SWOT category have a market cap of 78.92. They had a market cap of 78.92 trillion, I beg your pardon, as at September. 78.92 trillion naira as of September. And as we speak, they've added 225 billion naira in just 2 days of trading in the month of October. These guys are responsible for, say, more than 3/4 of the entire market capitalization of the whole equities market that is made up of over 100 companies.
About 147
companies.
They are 22.
Just 22 of them controlling. That is more than big boy. Let's talk about that. What's your take on the big boys in the market?
Mukhtar, I don't know, because yes, you are actually correct. They are the big boys.
Yeah.
About 22 of them. You have cutting across sectors. Of course, I think being led by Boa Food. Boa Food. Then you have the banking sectors like Fidelity, GTCO, UBA. In fact, I think all the except maybe I think all the Tier 1 banks are there. All the Tier 1s, but then including Fidelity, that is there. You have Presco, you have Gregu, you have Seplat, you have Transcorp Power, International Breweries. Those are the components of these big boys. We call them stock worth over 1 trillion naira in market capitalization, and at least they set the pace in terms of when you talk about NGX.
It's just like unicorns in startup.
So, having about over 78 trillion at September and now moving to about 79 trillion as a close of trading on Friday, I think is good. And that really tells you what to do as an investor.
What does it tell? What does it tell you what to do? Does it mean that a lot of investors are really taking a look at the big boys, what the big boys are doing, and then riding with the wave? What does it tell you as an investor?
You see, sometimes you have to know that sometimes is the company you keep really matter a lot. And if you look at 149,
about 140, I think 147, 148
companies listed, and you have about 22. So you are basically coming back to that terminology that says 20% of
20
principle.
Yeah,
so
true.
we are coming to that point. But that aside, when you look at some of these stocks, my own challenge with them is always in the part of liquidity, because some of them, we make mention of BOA, I mean, as one of the big players. But when you look at the holding of BOA and the available in the market also, it's another, I cannot easily get 1 million units of BOA if I want to buy BOA today. So, so those are liquidity. And then volume. If I want to sell tomorrow, how? So, but when you look at some of them, that's why sometimes people tell me that some of us are we're too financially inclined. But we're just looking at the liquidity. When you look at the trillion companies, the financial companies, you see that in terms of trade volume daily, you could see movement, you could see all the activities that is needed in an equity to give it a sound fundamental to make it to pass what we call the integrity test is there. So for me, yes, good company, but again, in terms of investing in them, if you want to be part of them, also you also have to look at the liquidity in case you need to exit. Because what I always say, what's the point of me having a stock and when I want to exit, I'm struggling to exit. So that's for me.
Perfectly,
Mukta,
I agree with you, and that is a good point for investors to note.
Yeah.
Despite the stability they offer, the size, the scale they offer, as an investor, especially as a retail investor, you have to watch out the liquidity. But even among the group, you look at the banking stocks. I think they have the liquidity. Even FCMB that is not even among the group.
Yeah, SWOT.
You understand, among the group, FCMB right now, as a close of trading on Friday, was the most liquid stock, ranking first in terms of trading liquidity.
Yeah.
But it's not even here. So for investors, one, like Mukta already mentioned, always look out for liquidity in addition to stability, in addition to growth.
Yeah.
In addition to the fundamentals, in addition to your valuation, always watch out the liquidity.
Mm-hmm. If you look at the equities market globally, especially in the US, you see S&P 500 is also responsible for controlling almost the entire market. Subcategories, you have NASDAQ. Do you see our equities market following that trajectory, especially the SWOT category, that trajectory of putting your bets on the SWOT category and knowing that come what may, you will experience stability and you will always get decent returns?
Well, stability for me, is there any market that you can really say you have stability when you talk about the equity market?
But if you look at the S&P 500, it's giving consistent returns.
Yeah,
in the
you are
last
talking about
decades.
consistent returns in decade in terms of percentage value.
Yeah,
you're looking at cumulatively. It doesn't mean that all the stocks that are listed in that did all that same this thing. But for me, I think Inika have already said it. I think it's all about based on your investment goal, what you want to do. Because sometimes some investors make more money from good stock than for the highly matured companies. Yeah. So, and it's sometimes you see that, like here I've mentioned, you see that there were some companies that were good stock before, they have moved to they have now moved to that category. So there are other young players that you can see there that will definitely move there. So as an investor, I always say something, the best investors is not the type of investors that goes to a stock when everybody is going. It's the investors that see the stock when nobody is seeing it. Those are what makes you a good investor. So he has made mention of some of the stocks that are not there, but they have potential to be there. We have a Sterling Bank that is still doing its right issue. That also has a strong potential to be there in the near future. We have an FCMB, which I think it has grown too much. It has been in a space for too long a time. Somebody called me, I was asking about their issue. I remember 2002 or 2003 when they did their first public offer. Well, Indica, maybe you remember the chess. They use the chess to do the advert where they are playing chess, and then you talk about the chess master and
who wins?
Who wins it? And that was, I mean, I bought it at 4 naira. I'm talking, 4 naira. But today, it's selling at 10 naira. Can you compare that him to some other of those stocks that sold at that time?
No.
Even if Fidelity.
True.
At the time we were doing the 4 naira, Fidelity was still struggling at a penny stock of less than, or not more than, I think at about, I've forgotten the price, but not even up to 4 naira. And at that time, Fidelity now came to match with FSP and others. So that tells you that there's a lot of potential there. If they are going to definitely come out from the wood. Because again, when you're studying the market, you also should learn to be a student of history, because that also help you to be able to know how to navigate your way. So for me, I think...
And that brings another important point as an investor.
Yeah.
You mentioned something, because, last time he said Idika is a retail, he's a long-term investor. I mean, it's very, very good, especially if you are investing for retirement, if you are looking at it from that retirement angle, because most of these stocks, if you check five years ago, you see the movement.
Yes.
You see the movement.
Yes.
Very, very high.
Yeah.
Very high improvement.
Yeah.
So it's not only about just investing, apart from the daily trading activities, you want to cash in, you understand, come in and move out. But as if you are investing for retirement, I think Nigerian stock markets is very, very good for it.
Diamond hand. Long-term holders.
Indica is preparing for retirement. So he's telling other people that...
No, it's not about...
And right now, remember what's happening in the market. Adoption. Who are the people who are adopting?
Even you, Frank, that is still young, this is the right time to start investing. Not just follow the market, let me just invest and cash out and take my money.
You should follow the money.
So even as a younger person, it's always good. What I'm trying to emphasize that the stock market is okay.
I had that conversation too when you look at it, especially as a younger person, if you're able to build volume when those prices. I was looking like you said 5 years ago. 5 years ago, to get a 1 million unit of UBA, you need I think averagely you need like 12, let me say you need like 5 million to get 1 million unit of UBA. But today, to get 1 million unit of UBA, you need 43 million naira.
Yes.
So you could, I totally agree when you are thinking. And then sometimes when we talk about this talk, sometimes we only just talked about the price appreciation, but we don't even talk about the dividend payout over that 5 years period.
Yes.
And sometimes when you add that to it, it's huge cash flow. And so I totally agree with you that in terms of planning for your long-time financial future, because I don't believe anybody will retire. Sometimes it's doing what you love.
We are saying this.
Giga, will you retire? You that I know, will you retire? How will you retire when you are doing what you are not? You are going to be a broker and a trader almost all the rest of your life.
True.
You are correct.
So that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Look at Warren Buffett.
Over 100.
I see
during the last investment call, I remember I joined it and I saw they even had the live, the broadcasted live, and I was like, see this man. Would you want to retire? So let's go on to the next story. But one thing I'm just going to say is, think about it this way. Imagine you're watching the game of football and the next thing you see is the referee picking the ball and playing the ball. You're going to look at that game like, what's happening? Imagine the referee starts playing. So can you be a referee and at the same time be a player? That's the conversation we're taking a look at right now with CBN. CBN is saying they want to come into the playing field over the fixed income asset payment platform. What is this all about? What is this all about?
But Frank, let's not make it feel like CBN has not been there. That they're just coming in.
But the referee has always the referee is always there.
They have been there. They've been one of the key.
Right now, the fixed income market, what they are saying is being managed by FMDQ.
Yeah.
And CBN is part of it. Only that they have a minor.
And the FMBQ, the difference between FMBQ and the CBN is because of the quick settlement of the FMBQ.
So it's not as if they are right. It's not as if they have not been there. They are there.
You see, what we see
But
is
they're
that
there as a regulator.
both a regulator and a
Regulator.
player. Because when you look at government instruments,
Yes.
CBN are the main
Debt management office,
any government. CBN really are the ones that are there. They are the ones that those settlements for government, bring it up there. So CBN have always been there. Security and Exchange Commission also, as always, like he was talking about the FMBQ. Remember before now we used to have the commercial papers being controlled by the FMBQ.
Up to that,
But we are seeing SEC saying that they also have to take approval before any.
Sure.
So SEC is coming in also as a player.
That is improvement in regulatory oversight. Yeah.
So I for one thing, yes, it will deepen market integrity, help liquidity, but again, we must also look at the downside of it.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
The downside could also be. Will market players see it as a regulator, like you say, the referee becoming a player, trying to use that as a key to control some of the fundamentals of the economy itself? We've seen where a lot of us have complained about using rebasing to bring down inflation, using rebasing to. So is it on that key of CBN being a player? Then you just wake up one morning, you say, okay, based on this, inflation has come down to 5% because we are able to use the fixed income space to control liquidity inflow. And when we are doing that, you are killing one of the most vibrant sectors in the Nigerian economy, which is the informal sector that's largely driven by liquidity. Then you begin to realize that the data, what they present is not commensurate to what is on ground. So those are part of the things that we need to look at. But again, I think it may be good if they really come out to create stability. That space has always been stable, though.
Yeah, how do you think this would affect investor sentiment?
Let's
look at it from that perspective.
Let's look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
One, CBN has all the information.
Yeah.
And if they feel that there is need to maybe increase sort of a level of efficiency, there is nothing wrong with that. The fixed income space is tied to these monetary policies.
Yeah, monetary policy.
Especially the MPRO. And if they feel that their policies are not aligning with what they expect from the fixed income space, maybe they can decide to say, okay, let us come and moderate and show in some level of efficiency. There is nothing wrong with that. But my problem is always that sincerity of purpose on the part of government policies. You understand? If there is sincerity of purpose, this is what we want to achieve. And they go in to achieve that. I don't think there will be much impact. Maybe short term, people might be hedgy, okay, let's see how the thing is going. But if the whole overall is to achieve certain level of efficiency and flow based on what they have seen, I think there is nothing wrong with that.
But you have the capacity to achieve that level of efficiency as a regulator. That's why you're a regulator. You have the capacity to say, okay, this is a policy, don't breach this. If you see some inefficiencies in their modus operandi, you can come up with regulations and policies to be able to guide against that. That's why you're a regulator. You can't catch the ball with your hand, hold the ball with your hand if the referee knows what he's doing. He will regulate the football, the game.
Let's paint it like this.
Yes.
SEC regulates, SEC and NGS regulates the capital markets.
Yes.
You understand how trading. But the platforms under which people trade are not directly tied to SEC and NGX.
Yeah.
They are tied to stockbrokers. So what happens there, SEC or NGS might not fully know. I'm just giving you this scenario.
Yes.
So that could be the reason why CBN is saying, okay, fine. No, they remember that the fixed income space is being influenced by federal government's assets.
It's assets, yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? Federal government assets. And if maybe they bring out these monetary policies like this MPRO or MOSEL or so on, and it's not aligning with them.
It's a disconnect.
It's a disconnect. So they can decide, okay, fine, let us try the other way. I think we have to look at
rate cut ordinarily should drive more liquidity to the equity market.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yet that rate cut is still driving more liquidity to the fixed income space. And you ask yourself, how does this tally globally, economically? So I think, again, they need to look at that. Sometimes there's that cutting rate, and then you still see the fixed income space still giving those high returns in terms of numbers.
Yeah, I agree with you because normally, see the way it is done.
But it dropped a little bit.
Yeah, see the way it is done. Increase in MPR will give you high yield.
Very true.
It will give you high yield. Increase what? The cost of funding, and what dampens inflation. Reduction in MPR will do what?
Give you low yield.
Give you low yield. Expand the economy, but might affect inflation.
Yeah.
That is how it works.
Very true.
Now, if CBN feels, okay, fine, we have reduced these rates and we want to see how it will impact on the fixed income naturally the way it should be. They can decide to say, okay, fine. Like I said, we don't have the information they have.
They are the big market players.
They are the big market players, so we don't have the information they have. So it depends on what they know, what they want, and they know what they have.
And what they want to achieve.
Aside that, I think for me, it's not only about the MPR or more. I think the other monetary policies.
So you've heard from the gentlemen on set, and they've said that, hey, being a regulator, being a player, there's nothing wrong with that. What's your opinion about it? Tell us in the comment section. Let's hear from you. Imagine being a referee and also being a player. I would love to hear from you. Tell us in the comment section. We were supposed to also take a look at the spotlight of the day as regards the company. We're taking a look at United Capital. But we're not going to do that on this episode. So stay locked, turn on the notification bell. On Wednesday, we're going to be taking a look at the numbers. United Capital, how are they performing? What is your take about this company? Taking a look at from the fundamental point of view and also from the technical analyst point of view. We're going to examine United Capital and see how well they're performing. I'll see you on the next one. Turn on the notification bell, like, share, subscribe. And this was brought to you by Nairametrics Television. This is Market Watch. My name is Frank. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.